Right friends, good morning and welcome to question and answer session of this week, 23rd February to 1st March. We have already discussed in our lecture part various prime events of the week, and let us now discuss various questions and answers part 1 for the week from 23rd February to March 1st. Let us look into the first question. Name the country which will allow spouses of H1B visa holders. What is H1B visa? When you got the job in United States of America, suppose you are working with Infosys gave you an offer to work in United States of America, then you will get H1B visa. So, when you are going on H1B visa, your spouse, that means your wife or your husband, will get H4 visa. Let me clarify once again. You are going to join Infosys in United States of America, you will get H1B visa, and your spouse and your children below 21 years of age, not only your spouse but also your children below 21 years of age will get H4 visa. What is H4 visa? That is the permission to stay in the United States of America, but you will not be allowed to take up any job in United States of America. That means your spouse will not be allowed to take up any employment in United States of America, and that is the present status. And now United States of America is going to change that. From May 26th onwards, H4 visa holders will also be allowed to take up employment in United States of America. As recently announced by the President, H4 visa holders from May 26th will be allowed to take up employment in United States of America. Right? Friends, let us move on to the next question. Name the state which permitted government employees to participate in RSS activities for non-political purposes. This is about participation of government employees in RSS organization. All of you are well aware that RSS is the organization basically formed on the premise of Hindu nationalism. Previously, there was a ban on the government employees to participate in the non-political activities in Chhattisgarh, but now the Chhattisgarh government lifted that ban. Now the government employees can participate in the non-political activities of RSS. Please remember, the answer here is Chhattisgarh government. You know who is the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh? Mr. Raman Singh. Balramjit Das Tandon is the Governor of Chhattisgarh. Let us move on to the next question. SAARC Yatra is being undertaken by our Foreign Secretary from March 1. Our Foreign Secretary, Mr. Jaishankar, is undertaking SAARC Yatra. Please recollect how many countries are there in SAARC. There are at present 8 countries in SAARC. Initially there were 7 countries. Subsequently Afghanistan was added. With the joining of Afghanistan, now there are 8 SAARC countries. Now the Foreign Secretary, Mr. Jaishankar, who was recently appointed as the Foreign Secretary, replacing Sujata Singh. All of you are well aware Mr. Jaishankar replaced Sujata Singh as Foreign Secretary, and he was posted for a period of 2 years. At present he is undertaking SAARC Yatra starting from Thimphu in Bhutan. The main purpose of this Yatra is to maintain or to resume cordial relations with Pakistan. Please remember, the main purpose of SAARC Yatra is to resume cordial relations to solve the bilateral issue of Kashmir between India and Pakistan. Let us see how the Yatra is going to be successful. Right? Look into the next one. Cabinet approved solar power projects for 15,000 megawatt is the answer. Recently, Cabinet of Indian Union approved solar power projects. I would like to remind you, government is giving more emphasis on solar power. After Mr. Modi's government came to power, the target for solar power was revised to 1 lakh megawatt or 100 gigawatt by 2022. Please remember, Government of India wants to ensure 1 lakh megawatt of solar power by 2022. Similarly, government wants to ensure 60,000 megawatt of wind power by 2022. Government is giving more emphasis on renewable energy. Lot of this power generation, maximum amount of this power generation has to come from private sources. But remember, NTPC, public sector undertaking, not only NTPC, but also its subsidiary, NTPC Vidyut Vyapar Nigam, both put together are going to produce 15,000 megawatt of solar energy as decided in the Union Cabinet. Having known this, please look at the next question. Find the odd one out. Here there are 4 e-commerce portals. One is commonfloor.com, second one is 99acres.com, third one is housing.com, fourth one is flipkart.com. Here the question is find the odd one out. That means 3 of these 4 e-commerce sites are for one category and the fourth one is for other category. These 3, remember the first one, commonfloor.com, is for real estate purposes. 99acres.com is also for real estate. That means to purchase land or houses, these 3, commonfloor.com, 99acres.com, housing.com, they are into purchase of land, purchase of housing property, purchase of commercial property, sale of commercial property, not only that, into the leasing of housing property also. So, here the first 3, commonfloor, 99 acres and housing, these 3 portals are basically for real estate purposes, and the fourth one, Flipkart, all of you know that Flipkart is basically for all types of general merchandise e-commerce firm. First it started with books, but now it ventured into all other transactions of different types of mercantile, right? Do you know who are the founders of this Flipkart? Flipkart is Sachin Bansal and Benny Bansal. It was started in the year 2007, right? Look into the next question. Who offered unconditional apology to Supreme Court? Who offered unconditional apology to Supreme Court for chairing a meeting of the working committee of BCCI? Supreme Court advised him not to chair the meeting. Supreme Court recently stated that there is conflict of interest with regard to Mr. N. Srinivasan. What is conflict of interest? He is the owner of Chennai Super Kings. Not only that, he is chairing the BCCI meeting. As he is into the ownership of Chennai Super Kings, Supreme Court categorically stated whether you have to leave that or this, and also advised not to chair any meeting. But contrary to the Supreme Court instructions, Mr. N. Srinivasan recently convened the meeting of BCCI and subsequently apologized to Supreme Court. Right? The answer here is N. Srinivasan. Look into the next question. EEZ, exclusive economic zone, starts at the seaward edge, where the sea begins, or otherwise you can say baseline of the sea, where there is a boundary of land and water, that is baseline. From that baseline onwards, as per the United Nations Convention of Law of the Sea 1982, remember, as per the United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea 1982, Basically, there are two categories of distinguishing sea waters. There are two categories of distinguishing sea waters. The first 12 nautical miles is territorial waters. First 12 nautical miles is territorial waters. First 200 nautical miles is exclusive economic zone. First 12 nautical miles is territorial waters. Territorial waters means you have full right over that waters. Not only in the waters, above the airspace and below everything, but the exclusive economic zone extends up to 200 nautical miles. 200 nautical miles. That means you will have exclusive right to explore the undersea resources. You will have exclusive right to energy resources below the ocean floor. You will have that exclusive right up to 200 nautical miles. So here the answer is exclusive economic zone starts at the seaward edge and extends up to a distance of 200 nautical miles. Let us move on to the next question. Who made the comment? Prime motive behind Mother Teresa's work among the poor was to convert them to Christianity. Recently, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat made this comment. The motto of Mother Teresa is basically, in the name of social service, she is converting persons to Christianity. There was lot of furor over these remarks, and the missionaries of charity immediately refuted these allegations. Remember, this RSS is headquartered in Nagpur. It was started by Keshav Balram Hedgevar in the year 1925 with headquarters in Nagpur. The main purpose of this organization is Hindu nationalism, and Mother Teresa, she belongs to Macedonia. She came to India at early age and she became Indian citizen. She started missionaries of charity with Calcutta as the headquarters. The present name is Kolkata. She started missionaries of charity, which is active in 133 countries at present. Their main focus is the rehabilitation of leprosy patients, HIV patients, tuberculosis patients, and it is spread across the world. In small towns also, you will have their presence of missionaries of charity. Right? Let us move on to the next question. Ram Nivas Goyal elected the Speaker of Delhi Assembly. Delhi is the answer. I would like to tell you, he is Mr. Ram Nivas Goyal, elected from Shahdara constituency in Delhi in the recent assembly elections. He became the Speaker of Delhi Assembly. Let us move on to the next question. The recommendations of the 14th Finance Commission. We have already discussed in our lecture part the recommendations of Finance Commission. And these Finance Commission recommendations, as per the Constitution, will be valid for a period of 5 years. These recommendations will be valid for a period of 5 years. For every 5 years duration, government will implement the recommendations given by one Finance Commission. This 14th Finance Commission is headed by Mr. Y.V. Reddy, who was the former Reserve Bank Governor, and these recommendations recently government accepted. The main focus of recommendations is the state's share of divisible taxes from centre enhanced from 32% to 42%, and these recommendations will be applicable from 1st April 2015. Please don't forget, they will be applicable from 1st April 2015 to 31st March 2020. Right? Look at the next question. The Supreme Court directed CBI to arrest culprits. Recently, unfortunate incident took place. 2 rape videos were circulating in WhatsApp media. Prajwala Foundation, headed by Dr. Sunita Krishnan, approached the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court immediately gave orders to CBI to arrest the culprits responsible for the circulation of these videos, not only doing this type of unfortunate events, But scooping to such a low level is not acceptable in any society, and accordingly, Supreme Court advised CBI to arrest the culprits immediately. Let us move on to the next question. Meera Kosambi. She authored several books. She passed away recently at the age of 75 in Pune. She is the famous sociologist. She got her PhD from University of Stockholm. Her father was famous mathematician. Her grandfather was famous Buddhist scholar. She was born into a family of intellectuals. She wrote so many books, and her famous works are translation of Marathi works of Pandita Ramabai into English. Pandita Ramabai. Who is Pandita Ramabai? Pandita Ramabai is the famous writer in Marathi, and she translated, and Meera Kosambi translated several works of Pandita Ramabai into English, and you are looking into some of the books authored by Meera Kosambi, and recently she passed away at the age of 75. Let us move on to the next question. The company which announced VRS for workers is, recently Tata Motors announced voluntary retirement scheme. What is VRS? When any organization wants to send some workers out, that means their services are no more needed. Under such circumstances, any organization go for VRS, voluntary retirement scheme. It is not forcible retrenchment of employees. It is by giving some benefits to employees. Whoever wants to go out of the organization, they will send them out. That is known as voluntary retirement scheme. They will be given some month's salary. They will be given some other benefits. So this way, Tata Motors wants to send some of the employees. Nowadays, this VRS scheme, many organizations are implementing because of automation in automobile sector. Lot of jobs are becoming redundant, right? So do you know who started this Tata Group? Tata Group was started by Jamshedji Tata. Subsequently, its operations now extends into several countries. Almost more than 50% of income of Tata Group now comes from abroad, not in India. That means they established their empire almost across the world. Tata Group, you all very well know, not only Tata Motors, Tata Teleservices, Tata Power, like that several organizations are there. Now the present chairman is Cyrus Mistry. Please don't forget, Cyrus Mistry is the present chairman. One beauty of this Tata organization is most of the shares were owned by trusts, not by individuals. Jamshedji Tata advised his sons to start trusts, and the shares of Tata Group are owned by these trusts. That's why the element of vested interest in Tata Group is normally less, because the shares are owned by trust. Right? Let us move on to the next question. Which of the following is not Japan based? Please look into the organizations Toyota, Nissan and Honda. These three are Japan based. Toyota, Nissan, Honda. These three are Japan based. Volkswagen is owned by Germany. In this connection, I would like to tell you one more thing. Recently, there is a management change in Honda Group. Mr. Takahiro Hachigo is nominated as the new CEO of Honda. Remember, Honda, Toyota, Nissan, these three are Japan based. In this connection, I would like to tell you few more points. Germany is famous for high-end cars. The cars which are used by elite people, rich individuals, high net worth individuals, they are owned by Germany companies. I would like to tell you what are the costliest cars. Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, these three are owned by German companies. Look into the next question. Bhadrashyam Kothari, famous industrialist, passed away recently. Bhadrashyam Kothari, he has so many industries. Not only that, he is into philanthropic activities, and Kothari Sugars and Chemicals is one of his industry, and Bhadrashyam Kothari married Mukesh Ambani's sister. Bhadrashyam Kothari married Mukesh Ambani's sister, and recently he passed away. He is famous industrialist. The answer is industrialist. Look into the next question. Recently, interconnect charges were reduced for landline or mobile operators. Recently, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, TRAI, looks into various regulatory issues pertaining to telecommunications. TRAI looks into various regulatory issues pertaining to telecommunications. Recently, TRAI reduced interconnect charges. Because of that, the telecom charges may be reduced shortly. And do you know what is TRAI? TRAI is Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, which looks into regulatory issues of telecommunications, and this was established in the year 1997 by an Act of Parliament, and it consists of not only chairman but 4 members. Right? Please move on to the next question. Recently, Heritage Arc is proposed to be developed to promote tourism. Recently, the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav, coined the word Heritage Arc, connecting 3 important cities of Uttar Pradesh. What are those 3 cities? Agra, city of Taj; Lucknow, city of manners and etiquettes; and Varanasi, religious and cultural pilgrimage center. So these 3 cities, government of Uttar Pradesh wants to promote them as Heritage Arc. Please remember, the cities are Agra, Lucknow and Varanasi, and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Mr. Akhilesh Yadav recently announced that these 3 cities will be developed as Heritage Arc. So the state is Uttar Pradesh. The answer here is Uttar Pradesh. Look into the next one. There was an outcry over the manhandling of former President Mohammed Nasheed. Former President of Maldives was recently arrested. He is Mr. Mohammed Nasheed. He was recently arrested, and when he was trying to speak to journalists, he was manhandled by police forces, and several countries expressed their concern over the incident. Mohammed Nasheed was arrested in Maldives, and the present president of Maldives is Abdullah Amin. Please don't forget, Maldives is a beautiful country of beaches, almost at the border of Arabian Sea and Indian Ocean. You are looking in the picture, right? Rana Bhagwandas, who died recently, was the first Hindu Chief Justice of Pakistan. Bhagwandas worked as acting Chief Justice around 2-3 times in Pakistan. So recently he died. So he was the first Hindu Chief Justice of Pakistan. Please don't forget. Right? Look into the next one. For 3 patent infringements, a tech giant was fined 553 million. The answer is Apple, but I would like to tell few things. What is patent? What is patent? When I invented something, suppose let us assume that I invented this instrument. I invented this instrument. Without my consent, you cannot manufacture this instrument. If at all you want to manufacture this instrument, you have to take license from me. If you are manufacturing this instrument without my permission, you are violating the patent rights and you will be fined. Similar case occurred in Apple. In the Apple's iTunes software, they violated the patent rights by taking software developed by some other firm. That firm went to the court, and finally Apple was imposed a penalty of $553 million. $553 million. Friends, how much do you know? It is roughly equal to around 3,500 crore rupees. $553 million is roughly equal to 3,500 crore rupees if you look at Indian currency. right? Before going into the next question, let us look at the founders of various software companies and various giants in United States of America. First, let us look at Google. Google was founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Please don't forget these names. Google was founded in 1998 by Larry Page and Sergey Brin. Microsoft, 1975, Bill Gates and Paul Allen. But now the present CEO is Satya Nadella. But founders, Bill Gates and Paul Allen. If you look at Apple, one of the founders was famous Steve Jobs, who passed away recently. But the present CEO of Apple is Tim Cook. And if you look at Facebook, which is the youngest among all this, Facebook CEO is Mark Zuckerberg. He is the CEO of Facebook. And remember, out of these four, Apple is the organization with the highest market capitalization in the world. So if someone asks you, which is the biggest organization in the world, it is Apple. Please don't forget, it is Apple with the market capitalization of $700 billion. It is the biggest in the world. Right? Let us move on to the next question. World's first 3D printed jet engine. 3D printing is taking roots nowadays. Recently, a jet engine was printed that occurred in Australia. Of course, this is prototype, and in future, in reality, if this technology comes into force, then automatically the overall cost will come down, aeroplanes will become lightweight, right? The answer for this question is Australia. Let us move on to the next question. Name the state government which announced the scheme of e-Panchayats. What is e-Panchayat? By connecting with the Wi-Fi and broadband connectivity, all the services needed by the residents will be connected digitally with the government. That means government to citizen services will be available online at any point of time through Wi-Fi connectivity. Government to citizen services will be available at any point of time online with Wi-Fi connectivity. Telangana government recently announced that they are going to start this e-Panchayat scheme in 18 Gram Panchayats. Do you know who is the Chief Minister of Telangana? Mr. K. Chandrasekhar Rao of Telangana Rashtra Samiti, and Mr. Narasimhan is the Governor of Telangana. Telangana is the newly formed 29th state of the Indian Union. Right? Look into the next question. Acting on a petition filed by K.P.Manu, the two-judge bench of Supreme Court recently stated that a person can be treated as SC if he reconvert back to his own caste. In this K.P.Manu case, what happened? I would like to explain a little on this. Long back, K.P.Manu's grandfather converted to Christianity, but their caste is one of the castes which are eligible to become scheduled caste as per our constitution. Subsequently, Mr. K.P.Manu converted back to that caste. Now he is claiming SC reservation. As his grandfather converted to Christianity long back, he could not get SC reservation, but recently K.P.Manu converted back to his own caste. Recently, Supreme Court gave ruling that when a person converts back to his own caste, then ultimately he has to get SC reservation if that caste is included in the castes prescribed for scheduled caste reservation. Right? Mr. K.P.Manu belongs to Kerala, please remember. Look into the next question. The first double century of one-day cricket in World Cup. Now World Cup is in progress in Australia and New Zealand. This World Cup match was held between West Indies and Zimbabwe. West Indies' Chris Gayle became the first batsman to score double century in one-day cricket. Total he scored 215 runs in 147 balls with 16 sixes and 10 fours. So please remember, Chris Gayle became the first batsman. He is the batsman of West Indies side and he scored the first double century in World Cup cricket, and he scored this in a match against Zimbabwe at Canberra in Australia. Please look into the next question. Fastest 150 in ODI history. Mr. A.B. de Villiers of Republic of South Africa achieved this feat against West Indies in a cricket match at Sydney, and he scored this 150 runs in 64 balls. This is the fastest one day 150. He scored 150 runs in 64 balls. The cricket match is between South Africa and West Indies. Let us move on to the next question. Third Tortoise Festival was held on the banks of Hajong Lake. Where is Hajong Lake? Hajong Lake is in Assam. There every year this Tortoise Festival will be held, and this is the third such festival. Hajong Lake is in Assam. Please don't forget, Hajong Lake is in Assam. Look into the next question. UNESCO is concerned about the destruction of priceless Assyrian and other artifacts. Artifacts are the treasure of any country. UNESCO is mainly concerned about cultural aspects all over the world. UNESCO is headquartered in Paris. It is United Nations organization. Now in Mosul city, which is in northern Iraq, lot of artifacts are being dismantled by ISIS. You can see in this picture, lot of artifacts indicating our cultural heritage are being demolished by ISIS, and UNESCO took strong exception to this, and this destruction of this Assyrian artifacts is taking place in Mosul city in North Iraq. UNESCO took strong exception to this. So the answer here is Iraq. Let us move on to the next question. Second round of talks to resume diplomatic ties were held between United States of America and Cuba. We have already discussed in our previous classes. Since 1961, there were no diplomatic ties between United States of America and Cuba. Recently, both the countries decided to start their diplomatic ties, and accordingly, second level of talks are being held between United States of America and Cuba. Though Cuba is very close to America, but relations between these two countries strained for the past 50 to 60 years because Cuba went into the bloc of communists led by USSR in those days. Right? Look into the next one. The founder of popular blog site, Mukto Mona. This site was maintained by Avijit Roy, and he is free thinker from Bangladesh. He is staying in United States of America. His ideas of free speech, free mind, secularism are questioned by radical Islam groups several times. Recently, when he was returning from Dhaka book fair, he was murdered on the streets of Dhaka, and his name is Avijit Roy, blogger of Mukto Mona, that is nothing but free mind. Right? Look into the next one. Director Technical and Field Services Shashi Shankar was recently suspended by ONGC because of some irregularities. Recently, ONGC suspended Shashi Shankar. Reasons were not given by ONGC. Next one. A major scam occurred in fake mark sheets. All of you are well aware. Minimum educational qualification was prescribed to contest in Panchayat and Jilla Parishad elections in Rajasthan. Because of the stipulation of minimum prescribed qualification, there was a racket going on of issuing fake mark sheets, fake certificates, as 10th class qualification is required to contest in Jilla Parishad elections. The persons who do not have required qualification got these certificates by paying some money. There was a big racket in this, and recently major scam was noticed in this regard. This is in the state of Rajasthan. So this fake mark sheets and transfer certificates scam occurred in Rajasthan. Look into the last question. Stalemate continues over the purchase of 126 Rafale fighter aircrafts. Rafale fighter aircrafts belongs to France, and government is discussing with France for purchase of 126 Rafale aircraft. The total value is roughly $20 billion and discussions are going on. Government could not come to any conclusion during the past several years with regard to Rafale aircraft. Let us hope that a decision will emerge shortly. With this, let us conclude this part, and please do join for second part of question and answers. Thank you. Have a nice day.